referred the comment to you. It's good that he referred the comment to you.
Yeah, you referred the comment to me.
Yeah. No, I like going on again. I would have taken him through a long journey.
Yeah. Oh.
They're asking for 10 minutes. They should be
Yeah. Yeah. No. We still not. They're not recording. We haven't opened the conference yet.
In all our election manifestos, people should govern and be seen to be governing. President Cyril Ramaphosa, like his controversy-ridden predecessor, has spectacularly failed to uphold his oath of office. Open quote, I solemnly and sincerely promise that I will always discharge my duties with all my strength and talents to the best of my knowledge and ability and true to the dictates of my conscience, close quote. He has shown neither total strength, commitment, nor the true conscience in the service of the nation. If the constitutional values of accountability, responsiveness, and openness in Chapter 1 had been respected and strictly adhered to, the President should have long resigned or been removed from office. Two of the past presidents have just been for themselves. Retaining the present electoral system will give us more abysmally failed presidents. Here is how President Ramaphosa 18% in 2022-23 to 19.8% in 2025-26, and is expected to average 366.8 billion a year over the medium term. In our words, 1 rand out of every 5 rand collected in taxes must be paid as interest on the debt. With only 80% of revenue left and the massive size of government draining much of the remains, service delivery and infrastructure development will be negatively impacted. The social contract between the government and the people of South Africa is enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa in 1996. The preamble of the Constitution states that the Constitution is adopted to, open quote, establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights, close quote. Ensuring that, open quote, every citizen is equally protected by law, close quote, and that improvements occur to enhance, close, open quote, the quality of life of all the citizens, close quote. The social contract has been broken as the government has failed to deliver on its promises to the South African people due to failures in governance, transparency, accountability, and responsiveness. Public services have collapsed, as evidenced by water crisis nationwide and the collapse of many state-owned enterprises and most municipalities. However, over many years, the Auditor General's reports have been shelved, allowing failure and corruption to continue without consequences. The President has failed to hold ministers accountable for their lack of performance and has lacked the moral courage to disclose the performance outcome. This violates values of openness, accountability. The Zondo Commission for the malfeasance remain secure in office and offer encouragement to others to continue along the path of unconscionable self-enrichment through corruption. The corruption, murder, violent crimes, GBV, kidnapping, gangsterism, and springing up of construction mafia has left South Africa shell-shocked and fearful. The trust deficit between political leaders and ordinary people has reached the misled parliament. SONA will misled parliament. SONA will be just another charade. South Africa would have been better off if a vote of no confidence debate kick-started the new parliamentary year. President Ramaphosa will try to sell citizens a dream without relieving them of their ceaseless nightmares. When all is said and done, a party interest will prevail. Being true, open quote, to the dictates of his conscience, close quote, will not figure. It will be business as usual. The paralysis in government will worsen. The economy will be damaged even more. Joblessness will increase, and state-owned entity that has not yet been brought to its knees will be pulled down. Ministers will remain as consumed by political infighting as ever, and incompetence mingled with corruption will continue longer. Our electoral system has worked magnificently for politicians, but has been an unmitigated disaster and tragedy to the citizens of South Africa. Corruption, elitism, and cronyism have become so deeply embedded in the ruling tripartite alliance that nothing short of less of power will pluck that out. Everyone in every corner of our country is now feeling the tyranny of the dominant political party. If the electoral system does not change, the lives of South Africans will change for the worse. The January 8th statement will come and go. The SONA will come and go. Still, tragically, the rapidly worsening crisis and accountable politicians with excellent capability are voted in. Our future is in the hands of the voters. Our longer-term future hinges on how our president, premiers, and mayors are elected. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Acting Secretary. Now, members of the media, we are actually opening this up for a question and answer session. If there are any questions, please can I just see by the raise of hands? All right, we've got Ndladla from SABC. The floor is yours, Ndladla.
Thank you so much. Elections are around the corner, and we know that in previous months, the Congress of the People has been bleeding leadership. Have you guys met to discuss in terms of how you're going to approach these elections? You know that there have been talks that these elections are watershed moment. They're the most important elections since the country's democracy. I'm just trying to find out what has COPE been doing now that you are raising these complaints about the current government. A lot of political pundits are talking about chances for political oppositions to emerge in these elections. What are you guys have been doing to ensure that candidates?
Elections are obviously about 6 months away, or less than that. What is the health status of COPE going into those elections? I don't know if you've done a reconciliation. Do you know how many members, active members, does COPE still have? And secondly, there was an issue with COPE being signed into the SARA alliance, and we do know that obviously those parties that are in the SARA alliance, they do have to, give up their identity, at least for these elections, and go into the SARA alliance. Is that still on, and will COPE be just going to these elections by itself and not in any part of coalition or mutual pact or an alliance? Thank you.
Yeah.
let me thank you for the two questions, which of course in the main they are elections related. And to answer very shortly is that we've been very busy. It's just that we never, wanted to call for attention in what we were doing. We have been able to go through our own processes, one of which is working out how we were going to plan. Now, in the next coming few days, we will be revealing our plans in action, not making announcements, but plans in action. Many of you would know that COPE, in its appointment of public reps, has always invited both its members and other interested parties who would want to be part of our journey to apply to serve. So that process is going to unfold very soon. So, so that is the one aspect. The second aspect is that the issue, you would recall that very recent, we have distanced ourselves from the SARA issue. We did. So that should answer many questions related to that. We are neither part of SARA, we are not part of that. We have not entered at this moment into any coalition discussions with anybody. So by so saying is that we are looking at COPE as a party, as an individual party, to deal with matters. That does not necessarily rule out coalitions. There's always a debate that says, when do you start maybe negotiating or talking about coalitions? After the elections or before elections? We have weighed our strength, and we are convinced that we want to go into coalitions discussions ready to make it that we have the strength and the necessary capacity that we can be able to negotiate in coalitions, because coalitions is not only about being a friend, but it's also about power sharing. So that is our approach to the issues of coalitions to this extent. We are not ruling out any coalition with anybody, but also it must be about shared objectives. What do we want to achieve for the people of South Africa? More than what do we want to achieve as a party when we go into a coalition agreement with any other party. So in a nutshell, that's where we are. As I've said, we have already demonstrated the issue of SARA, so we don't even need to say whether we are for the very simple reason that we have given. That's where we are.
Maybe I should add something, if I may. You will recall that the Congress of the People, which is the origin of the name COPE, declared that when freedom shall come, the people shall govern. Now that's very, very, very important. And it carries a lot of meaning. The people shall govern means a multiple of things. First of all, that the people should choose who they want with that point. If the people shall govern, it means the people must elect who they want should govern them. But it also means more than that. It means that the people must be able to dictate what they want If they elect you, what do they want you to go and do for them? Now, when you talk about the question of coalitions, and if you talk about who must govern and so on, we must ask ourselves the question, if we say we want to govern you, we want you to elect us to govern, we must also know, or we must also be able to say to you, if we were elected by you to govern you, this is what we would like to do for you. So that there is a compact, that there is an agreement that we will elect you to govern us, but what do we want you to do for us is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so on. Because if you say we must govern you, and then we do what Mbalula told the country, that the present ruling party did, and then it told them, I just want to say in very brief terms that we were in discussion when, after the Deputy President Mashatile called all of the political parties to Cape Town. You remember we went to Cape Town. And it was suggested there that we should consider forming coalitions so that when we can govern for the people. So, one question which we raised was, well, if we form coalitions before the people vote for us and all of that and so on, before they tell us what they want us to do for them and so on, how will we know what they want us to do for them? So we do think that it's important to know what the people would like to have, what they want done, instead of them being promised water and then getting cholera instead. These discussions, we were busy with those discussions when some of the younger people decided that no, they are going to, this is what the people want, and then they are going to have SARA and all of that. And we said, sorry, we think we are not on the same wavelength. So that was the end of SARA. We saw some pictures also. We were also pleasantly surprised, you know. When you see an advert, every time we see an advert on the highway going to town or going to Pretoria, you are very, for the moment, we quite know how we intend to deal with that problem. And part of the reason why we are saying in this statement that something must be done about our constitution. Our people must be allowed, the people of South Africa must be allowed to elect who will govern them. We are working on that issue, therefore.
Yes. And just quickly before you close, that the central message and the plank on which COPE will be fighting this election is for a stronger mandate to pursue that which we committed to do in 2008, which is as part of the as part of the vision that's contained in the Freedom Charter, that the people shall govern, that we have an amendment to the constitution of the country so that instead of using this cloak and dagger system of political parties, that we have the people themselves choosing who shall be their president, who shall be their premier, and who shall be the mayor. And therefore, a stronger mandate for COPE will ensure that we implement this commitment we made in 2008. And one of the planks on which we're going to be fighting this election campaign is on a stronger mandate to amend the constitution properly within the parliamentary systems and the rules, so that the people should elect their leader. We've seen what has happened. We've experienced what has happened with this cloak and dagger system that is called the tyranny of the dominant political party system. Thank you.
Thank you, CBC members. Members from the media, just checking if there are any follow-up questions.
Okay.
Can I just add also one thing? Mr. Lekota, how confident are you with COPE's performance in this coming elections? How confident are you that you guys will move from, I know you have 2 seats in parliament.
I think it also talks to the issue of health as well. Yeah. Look, probably somebody might be saying that COPE was sick a few months ago. But confidently we can say that everything is settled within COPE, to the extent that we are giving it a clean bill of health. Our intention and our plan, and at the most our expectation, is that we have the potential to increase our seats. At the most, let's say, if we have not done well, we should at least be somewhere around 5 seats, 5 to 8 seats. Some of the researches also that we have read through, they are pointing to that vision that we are having. The recent, I'm just trying to recall the date, said something about a light improvement that shows that COPE is going to be able to increase its seats. There's that confidence within COPE itself that we will be able to increase our numbers and be able to give a good contest in the upcoming elections.
Are there any other follow-up questions?
Well, let me just add something.
Okay.
My dear friend, genuine elections, genuine rules, and all of that. You can see by the actions in various communities. Today they have blocked the road going to Kwandebele, where their so-called president is supposed to travel going to Enos Mabuza, I think's home or something like that. That's what's happening. But what does it tell you? The people want something different. If you don't understand that message, you won't understand. The people want something different. They definitely don't want this. I didn't go to Robben Island and all the prisons. I didn't go there so that we could have this nonsense we are having here. And I do want to go and say to the people of South Africa, we spent some of the best years of our lives in Pretoria prison, in Sun City. We are the ones who call that prison Sun City, on Robben Island and so on. Is that really what is happening today? Is that what we wanted for our people? Definitely not. When I walked out of Robben Island, I was a member of the African National Congress. I joined the ANC there. Not the armed struggle. I didn't join the military. I joined the African National Congress. Satisfied after I had read, because the Freedom Charter was penned earlier than that. And we had to find it where in hiding somewhere and so on. But when I came from there, I was quite convinced this is the freedom I want. And read and I want. We set up the structures of the African National Congress after we managed to persuade the Afrikaners with President Mandela and other leaders of our people to say to them, to say to the Afrikaners, we want peace in this country. We want peace in this country. Let us go back and sit with all of us, discuss with black and white leaders of our country so that we can have peace, and when we have peace, we can all work together to build the South Africa of our dreams. But is this what we wanted to have? Is what is happening now really what we wanted to have? It is not. So I'm saying this. We will go as this Congress of the People. We still stay, we are Congress of the People. I can assure you, the Congress of the People is a little child, maybe 2 years old. How old are you? Maybe 15 years. It's a little child, but it's a growing child. Please say, if you don't understand that this is a growing child, the Congress of the People is not going to pass. It's not. The African National Congress is old. It's very old, 112 years old. It to you, by saying this and saying that. That's when people who become very old now can begin to say, hey, what's that, man, give it. We just lied to you guys. We were telling you stories. We tell those stories and so on. Those stories are not going to become a reality. The future, tomorrow, is what's going to become the reality. And I want to say to you, this youth that has no education, whose money has been stolen by some of the members of parliament, who are complaining that they don't have university, that thing, who are complaining that they are getting degrees which mean nothing to them. That is the youth that's going to build this South Africa. That's going to build this Congress of the People. So I have no doubt whatsoever the Congress of the People will become, is the dream our forebears dreamed in 55. It's a dream that's becoming a reality in the coming period. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lekota. Any follow-up questions from the media? All right, we've got
Dr. Lekota, Usbahle from SABC News. Just a point of clarity, sir. In terms of Hope calling this from the whole notion of independent candidates, as well as maybe just elaborate for me on how this will work.
We introduced the amendments of the Constitution. We introduced that there. And I've been running up and down. We've been sitting there in the Constitutional Court, pleading. But you see, we didn't have the majority. So those who had the majority could manage things as they please and so on. They can try their little tricks here and there and so on. It has not changed what we want and what the people of this country want. That's going to happen still. So that's fine. The Constitutional Court has said, okay, now you can have this and do that and so on. But if it doesn't happen the way the people want it, it will still change again. It don't matter how long it takes. It will still change again. until you allow the people to elect who they want, until you allow the people to tell you, who is in government, what they want you to do for them. Anything else is just a waste of time. They will find they can't overrule the people.
Yeah, just last question. It's maybe unrelated to today, but South Africa is arguing in the International Crimes Courts to have Israel charged on genocide. And I just want to know what is our court's position on that obviously very hot button issue happening across the world right now. Thank you.
Yeah, just quickly to say we are watching the space as well. At the moment, we have taken note of what is happening. We have internally also started to discuss, but we don't want to jump the gun, because in the first place, the most important thing is that this issue that is happening there, we should be very careful that it doesn't divide South Africans to the extent that South Africans find themselves at loggerheads on something that we could have played as mediators or peacemakers.
Members of the media, are we done? Are there any other follow-up questions or one-on-one requests? If not, going once, twice, then I guess we're done. Thank you very much for being present today.
Thank you. A very urgent matter of national importance somewhere else, as one of the leaders of political parties in the country. But we will be here led by Ntatelo. Thank you.
Thank you.
This pen went on strike.
Oh,
I just need to write.
President.
I'm sorry you came a bit late.
That's it.
hello. Yeah. Just translate somebody who washes me.